Okie dokie, now it is always nice to welcome previous guests on my radio show. I have now back Rachel Sage with me right here, right now. Hello there, Rachel. Thanks for joining me today. How are you?
I'm great. I actually am still buzzing from seeing Howard Jones perform last night in New York, which was a thrill.
Wow, brilliant. We will come to that a bit later. But what's been going on in your world recently? Last time we spoke was in late May, and I did see you at your concert as well when you were
Yes.
promoting your tour and your singles.
Yes. Well, now the full album, The Other Side, is out.
Yeah.
I'm holding it in my hands. It was very exciting. They arrived in boxes last week at Empress Records. So I'll be doing a full-fledged tour in support of the
Mm.
album when we come back in August. But for now, I'm playing shows in the US and promoting the new
Yeah.
single, Flowers for Free.
A very proud moment for you.
It does feel like it's a new baby for
Mm.
sure. It's not my first rodeo, but this album is a bit different. I think it's just, coming out of lockdown and everything, it's much freer and celebratory and hopeful. And, it's just a big musical sigh of relief and gratitude.
And if I'm correct, this is your 15th album, certainly a milestone.
Yes, absolutely. I don't know how that happened.
Mm.
It feels like it was a blink of an eye. I can still remember working on my first album like it was yesterday. So, time is a strange thing. It really is. I feel like I'm just getting started, and there's so many more different types of albums and recordings I want to make. But for now, I'm very, very excited about this. And I'm also excited because the artwork, which I know your listeners can't see, but if they happen upon the
Mm.
physical, there are 12 of my oil paintings inside the
Mm.
package as well. So it's a multimedia
Yeah.
experience.
I know you have an eye for art as well.
I have fun with it. I
Yeah.
love all the arts.
Mm.
So,
Now this interview will go on YouTube, so I'm going to put the artwork for your new single, which is "Flowers for Free." And would you say it's a 1960s inspired song with a bit of poetry and storytelling inside of it?
yes, I actually wrote the bulk of this song as a teenager,
Mm.
believe it or not. And usually I cast that material aside and relegate it to the it that was cute
Mm.
pile. But when this one came up again, I discovered it when my parents gave me an old box of
Mm.
cassettes, and I went through them. Most of them sucked. But I came across this one and I thought, wow, I don't think I really knew what it meant when I wrote it, but it sounded like a conversation between death and
Mm.
life itself, and kind of weighing whether or not this particular person in the song, which isn't necessarily me, it's
Mm.
very abstract, had more living to do. And it just felt like a very non-judgmental way to approach, and sort of a surrealistic way to approach the idea that there is more life, there is more to do, even when we're overcoming grief
Mm.
and loss, as so many of us were during lockdown, that we can, find a rebirth,
Mm.
just by kind of summoning our inner fortitude.
Mm. A positive song indeed. I'm liking the different instrumentation on this track.
Thank
I
you.
know you got the sax and a bit of is it cello or violin in there?
Yes, cello, violin, trumpet, a wonderful
Mm.
guitarist who actually has played with the Fab Four, the Beatles
Oh
tribute
yeah.
band, among other things. Actually, two guitarists are on this track, I think. And, it's just sort of a kitchen sink kind of a
Mm.
production that I really wanted to be a tribute to the Beatles in a
Mm.
lot of ways.
Nice. A very harmonious song indeed.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Um.
I also sang the lead vocal through kind of a quirky bullet mic, so it
Mm.
sounds like a transistor
Yeah.
radio from the
Yeah.
60s.
I like the effects on your vocals as well. I did pick up on that as well on the
Thank
record.
you.
And on the start of this interview, you mentioned a certain Howard Jones. I know him because
Yes.
he's an accomplished singer-songwriter and synth player, predominantly in the 80s, but he did have further success further down the line. How did that come about?
Well, I started touring with him a handful of years ago. I toured the UK and then the US, and then I did them both again. So it's been a while that I've known him. He's become a good
Mm.
friend. We're kind of musical family now. So I didn't feel like I had to summon any courage to invite him to sing on the record. It was just a matter of what song
Mm.
would be right. And when I wrote the song, I Made a Case, it really felt like it lent itself to being a duet.
Mm,
And so that was new terrain for me. And he was just very quick to say, I would love to do it. And he gave it his all.
mm,
He really spent a lot of time on it. Of course, he's a producer and an arranger as
mm,
well. So I trusted him
mm,
completely. And he does a lot of acoustic music too. He
mm,
tours that way as a trio. So I didn't think it was going to come back with all kinds of
mm,
synths and, drum machines all over it. I knew he understood
mm,
the intimacy of the song. And if anything, he was more protective of it than I was. I was like, yeah, do whatever you want. He's like, no, I really want to find the right part. And it has to sound like it just absolutely
mm.
belongs. So, yeah.
Brilliant. If my music knowledge serves correct, here's the Southampton Man, which you're playing on your forthcoming UK tour, which is not that long away in August.
That's right. Yes, unfortunately, he won't be there because he's on tour
Yeah.
throughout the US with Boy George and Berlin.
Uh-huh.
And I just saw that show last night. It was so amazing. So I hope that folks can catch it.
Mm,
Um, but yes, I am excited to return to Southampton
mm,
and a whole slew of other shows that everyone can find on my website, rachelsage.com.
brilliant. And further down the line in September, you're in California, which is
Yes.
Los Angeles, the 7th of September at the Mint.
Oh, I'm super excited about that show. It'll
Mm,
be my official LA CD release party, album release party. We'll actually also have vinyl by
mm,
then. And I guess in a way, because there's so much art, it could also be like a gallery show.
mm,
I should probably put out some prints. And yeah, I don't even know what instrumentation I'm going to do for
mm,
that set. I might recruit some local folks from LA.
mm.
There's no shortage of musicians there. So.
And I went to an album signing recently, and it's nice to see so many young people buying vinyl. It's like it's had a
Oh,
resurgence.
it's the best,
Mm,
yeah. And it, for someone like me, it gives me a bigger canvas to express myself on and include the lyrics and, all the credits and artwork. So I'm not knocking it, that's for
mm.
sure.
And even cassette tape as well, you can put in your pocket as well, and still has a bit of nostalgic value to it, although it does get chewed up in the tape player. But
Yes, I'm not as big a fan of
no.
cassettes, although I'm very grateful that my parents kept all my cassette demos because there have been a handful of songs that I have thought, well, I'm going to give this a new lease on life and it'll sound even better with
Mm,
my current band.
mm. And just going back to your tour this year,
Yes.
you finish off in Nashville.
Well, I don't know if I finish
Oh,
off. I'm adding dates all
oh,
the
okay.
time.
So watch your
No rest
space.
for the obsessed,
Yeah,
as they
yeah.
say. But yes, that is the last show that I have listed for the fall, and it's apropos because I also co-wrote the song "I Made a Case" with a wonderful Nashville-based
Mm,
songwriter named Jeff Cohn, who's written innumerable
mm.
country hits. So we're gonna have a big party there.
What do you enjoy about playing the intimate venues? You know, when I saw you in Leamington Spa, how do you
Yeah,
find
oh, that
that?
was a fun one.
Mm,
Oh, I love playing all
mm,
venues. I mean, it's like saying, what do you love about eating in a restaurant?
mm,
Like every single one is different. Everyone is a new adventure, a different experience. And it's the people who
mm,
are there who make it so special. Sometimes an audience is a little bit sleepy. Maybe it's
mm.
a Monday or they're
Yeah.
tired from the work week. And then I embrace that challenge to try to lift them up and get them to sing along. And they always do. I think people go to shows now. It's almost a religious
Mm,
experience. They are so eager for and hungry for music and to connect and to have that shared
mm,
communal experience. So I love it all.
mm. Here in the UK, we've have some like musical establishments, i.e., pubs closing down. Do you think it's more
Mhm.
essential than ever to support, especially like the live music venues, also?
Of course.
Mm,
And it has been for a very long time. I don't think venues have had it easy for many years.
mm,
And then, of course, the pandemic just made that a lot harder. There's a wonderful venue in New York City that we're all rallying behind called Rockwood Music Hall. And at this point, it's legendary. It's like your Troubadour or, Union Chapel or something. And all kinds of major artists are coming out of the
mm,
woodwork to support it because they've been honest that they're in trouble. And of course, we'd want to see them stay open. So, yes, it's not only a wonderful celebratory experience to hear music that you love, but also you are doing, a great service to the community and supporting the arts if you come to a show.
Well, very well said, Rachel. And there's just one final question I wanted to ask you.
Sure.
Are there any special people you'd like to give a shout out to in this interview?
Absolutely. I'm going to just flip it around a little bit. There's a wonderful organization that I'm going to be partnering with for the UK tour, and they're called AKT. I encourage people to Google them. They're a fantastic organization that supports LGBTQ plus homeless youth, as well as people who are experiencing domestic abuse or domestic violence. And I read their mission statement and saw what they were all about. And I thought, well, this is a great match. I would love to support what you do. So they're going to come to some of the shows, talk about what they do, and I hope people will, donate to their organization. And yeah.
Lovely. Thanks for a great interview again, and also for me to do now is play your new record on my show. Would you like to introduce it on? So this is Danny's Sun radio show, The Overflow
Yeah.
Show.
Fantastic. So my name is Rachel Sage, and this is my brand new single, Flowers for Free.
Always a pleasure, Always a pleasure, Rachel, and we will catch up with each other soon. Take care now.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.